I'm excited to welcome on one of the top players in 2021 and the second commit of KU's top recruiting class, KJ Adams. What's going on, my guy? Of
Hey, thanks for having me.
course, man. Well, it's now been about a week or so since you made your big announcement. You're going to be going to Kansas University, man. Take us this decision and really we'll into this.
It was a long time coming. I've probably been thinking about it for the longest time. I just didn't know. I made a decision probably a week before I announced it. I called Bill Self, told him that I wanted to commit, and he was overly excited. He was really excited because he didn't feel like he would be able to get me since I couldn't visit or anything. But I think I might as well take a leap of faith and go to one of the best teams in the country, and I did it. And it was good because me and my family were on the same page. My family wanted me to go there, and I did, so it was good.
And you're going to university that's a blue blood. How excited are you to be go to a school where you're kind of enriched in just history and one of the all-time great programs?
I was definitely gonna be crazy because like when you're a kid, you dream of stuff like you're going to like Kansas, Kentucky, one of those blue blood schools. And of course, going there is it's a dream because when you're little, all you want to do is shoot for the stars, and I got one of them.
Absolutely, man. You're in a position that is one of Bill Self's best. I mean, he gets guys to the NBA at all positions. When you look at small forwards, forward kind of positions, he gets guys like Josh Jackson, Andrew Wiggins, Ben McLemore. I mean, a lot of those guys. How do you kind of plan to grow and becoming the next kind of Bill Self NBA product in the forward spot?
Probably just learn from the best. There's a lot of history there. All my family and friends know about Kansas, obviously, so I definitely get a lot of insights and stuff like that. I have a family member that's the academic advisor there, so I'll get a lot of that stuff. So I wouldn't have to worry about anything but basketball. So just learning from all the history there and just doing what I have to do and just taking it in, not being selfish, and just learn from the program. That'll take me far.
And you're a guy that I'm not sure what some of these rankings is having me. They obviously have you down at 78 range or whatever. We know you're a five-star player. You've proven that on the court when you play. When you go out there, I mean, this upcoming season, how do you kind of prove that and show people once again that you are a five-star player?
Yeah, rankings come and go. They're one of the rocky things that people do because I went from being ranked number 20, 23, 24 in the country on ESPN and then dropped down to 50. So they're just so and so. You come and go. That just taught me that I just need to work because a lot of people don't see me as a high recruit. So I just work as hard as I can and get to where I need to be.
And you're not the only like heading to Kansas right now. Zach's the first commitment there. I know he's also from Texas. What's your relationship like with him?
Oh yeah, it was funny because in sixth grade I played against him all the time. He always played each other in the San Antonio area. He's a good dude. I played against him at Sunrise this year at the Duncanville tournament, Hoop Fest. So now it's gonna be good actually playing with him instead of being playing against him all the time. So that's good.
And now he's been committed for about a couple months now. Did he kind of know that you're going to commit there? Did you just kind of start talking a lot more leading up to your commitment?
No, not at all. I didn't even talk to him about it. I just committed and then told him about it, and then he was excited. He was really excited because we're friends, and it's good to play with a friend that you know for a long time.
Absolutely. And so you guys are both locked in heading to Kansas. Is there anyone else you guys are talking to that you would possibly like to add on to this group?
Of course, Damian Fox. That's my longtime friend. We got to get him over there. If we get there, we're gonna be hard to beat. So I'm really looking forward to him. I was with him all weekend, so of course I was putting Kansas in his ear. But definitely, I want my guy there. That's my one of my best friends in the basketball world. So I want him with me.
I know that Team Griffin scenario. You got Bijan obviously out there committed to Oklahoma. He's trying to get him and Trey. I know you probably want my Kansas. You just said. How are you guys going to kind of plan who's going to get him?
Oh man, I don't know. It goes either ways because we're close, but there's a business side to things, and we don't really talk much about that. So it's hard to kind of see. But I can see him in a lot of places though. But it's hard to tell because there's business and family, and you don't really cross that much with stuff because we're all really talented and we all can do our thing at different places.
Couldn't agree more. And so mean, obviously, Damien hasn't narrowed it down completely down to a small group yet. There's more schools than just KU and Oklahoma, but between those two, I mean, just looking at Oklahoma, why was KU the better option than Oklahoma?
Oh, definitely, probably because just the history.
Mm-hmm.
They've won their conference many times. They've shown the most consistency I've ever seen in their college basketball team, and they just continue to win and breed NBA athletes every year.
Absolutely. And you talk about Coach Bill Self, an iconic coach. How excited you to just be coached by a guy like him?
Oh, definitely crazy. It's definitely not even. It was probably one of the main reasons I committed. It definitely wasn't a cherry on top. It was probably the whole thing together. Like he was definitely half of the reason why I committed there, just because of his family oriented program, just how people talk about him. He's a great dude, and I want to grow our relationship, so I committed to Kansas.
And so, has it set in yet? I mean, I know obviously we talked about earlier, it's a blue blood, it's one of those big things. Has it set in yet that you're going to be a Jayhawk?
It hasn't even crossed my mind. I don't even think it. My mind has processed it. I'm just so blessed to have the opportunity. And it was wild because I don't even feel like any different because I just feel like I always feel like a normal person, but
Mm-hmm.
it's weird just knowing that you just made that accomplishment and there's more ahead.
And you're going to have to wait another year. Hopefully, this COVID stuff's gone, so there won't be any issues you getting on campus in a year from now. But you get to step foot on Allen Fieldhouse. You get to walk in, play in front of that massive crowd of one of the loudest stadiums in America. What's going to go through your mind? How excited are you for that?
I'm very excited. Going from Austin, Texas to a place like Kansas is crazy because Texas has a really big arena, but they can't really fill it because it's so big. So that kind of demotes the atmosphere. But going to a place where Kansas is, it's sold out every night. People come down, the fans are crazy, waiting, like rooting for their team. So it's going to be really fun just seeing the atmosphere for the first time ever because I still haven't even visited yet.
And that's the big thing. I mean, I know you mentioned it earlier. You've yet to take a visit to KU. How'd you kind of get to the point where you felt comfortable going there and committing without doing the visit yet?
It's like kind of one of those schools that it's a given. Like if you hear a million people talk about how amazing and stuff it is, you got to believe them at one point because if you hear it from consistently from everybody talk, I've never heard one person say Ken's gym and atmosphere is terrible. I've heard that about a lot of other places, but never about Kansas or like Duke or UNC because you already know that they're going to sell out every night. The campus is beautiful. I've seen pictures, I've seen videos, and the people there are really nice. So it's one of those things where you see it on TV, you just gotta believe and take a leap of faith, and I did it, and I think it's gonna work out good for me.
Let's break this down a little more. You're at your top 10, a lot of big time schools in that group. Just for those 10 though, how did they all make that? What kind of was similar about them all that you wanted them in that top 10?
Oh, I'd probably I wanted a family oriented
Mm-hmm.
based program, like someone that would take me in, do good, do as much as they do for me in the school and long term in the basketball, and just a place where I can be myself and do what I need to do.
And a couple of those schools, one of them is Baylor. Were they ever heavily in consideration, or was it after they landed Kendall and Jeremy that you kind of decided that probably was kind of not the place for you?
They were definitely still heavily in my recruiting. I don't think that really took a toll in it at all. I've been looking at Baylor, Texas, like all those schools the same. It didn't really matter for who was going there. It was matter just for me. I think Kansas was the best place.
And so leading up to your decision, what were some of the schools that kind of were with you to the very end? Was there like another number two or three other schools that were right there with them?
Definitely Texas and Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
I was still forcing with the habit, like, do I want to leave Texas? Do I want to stay in Texas? That's been the struggle for so many years. I've like since I first got my offer, and then I first got my Texas offer, and then I first got a school that was out of Texas. So then I was like, dang, like I can really do this. Like, but I didn't realize how hard it's gonna be to leave your home state. So people were very surprised that I left Texas.
I think that is the thing. I mean, when you're looking at Texas, there's countless teams out there. As you said, I mean, you chose to go to KU. What kind of was the defining factor? Why did you know that you wanted to leave Texas and that this was okay for you?
One of those things where like I had to pick. to leave the Under Armour circuit and go to EYBL because I wanted to play the best competition. I wanted to have the most exposure to get myself into the best college I could. And I think I brought that into my my recruiting because I felt like I just got to take a leap of faith, like to really see how good I am. I got to take this by the horn and get it. So going to the best, I could have stayed home in Texas and been really comfortable, but wouldn't have known my full capability because I wasn't with the best people. So I don't think Kansas to figure it out, go away from home, get out of my comfort zone so I can do great things.
So you got a couple of the schools in Texas you'll be able to come home for. You got the Baylor game, you got the Texas game, TCU, a couple of those schools. How excited is people to come back home and have your family watch you when you do come back home and play those teams?
Oh, that's going to be crazy just because just knowing that your family's going to be able to see you and play at your hometown. I'm going to have so many family members at that game. It's going to be good just knowing that I can still come to Texas about 2 or 3 times a year. So that it's good and it's definitely something to look forward to.
I couldn't agree more. In terms of 2020, you got Bryce Thompson, another 5-star talent. You got top overall JUCO player. They're a couple of the big-time guys. Do you have a relationship with any of them?
I have a relationship with Bryce because I was in Oklahoma all summer last year. So he hit me up, was really excited, and he's a really great player. So I'm really excited to play with him and just learn from him, just build together as a team and win a lot of games.
Do you know about your commitment before you announced it?
No, I didn't. I don't think I really kept it the lowest possible. I told trainers, coaches, and then my family. That's it. I didn't really push it out to anybody else but them. And I think everybody in my group and my friends understood that and accepted it.
Absolutely. And I mean, we know KU, they had a high chance at probably winning the championship last year if it wasn't for COVID shutting it down. They're losing 2 big pieces, though, Devon Dotson and obviously Azubuike. What do you think Bryce, in terms of Dotson, though, what do you think Bryce is going to be capable of doing? Do you think he can replace what Dotson was able to do?
Oh yeah, he's one of the best playmakers out there. He does a lot of playmaking. You see all his high school tapes. He's a good playmaker. He's unselfish. He passes the ball. He does everything right to have a winning program, a winning team, and he does all the little things right. So it could be a big win next year for them.
So if Bryce stays for more than 1 year, it's you, Bryce, Zach. What are you guys capable of doing?
Oh my God, we're capable of so much. I won't know until we get there, but I know we're capable of a lot of things to help the program and just continue the legacy.
And KU also has quite a few other guys from Texas. Just kind of having that pipeline, that kind of grassroots where there's other guys from your home. What's that going to be like?
Oh, it's definitely going to be crazy just because the long history they have there. It's one thing to start history, but it's a whole nother story to maintain the legacy at a place.
Couldn't agree more, man. Well, let's talk about your high school career. You're heading on to your senior season. How excited to get into this?
Oh, I'm definitely excited. I'm waiting but I hope we have a season because everybody's waiting and they're all hyped up, and it's going to be really sad if they cancel. So I'm just playing it by ear, working out, trying to stay ready. But if it ends up not happening, still got to get better.
How do you plan to do that? I mean, you've been in COVID, you've been training, working out. If there's no season, what are you going to key in on and what do you want to work on throughout the next year?
Definitely my ball handling and then my shooting. I want to get my shooting the most consistent as possible if I'm going to play in the high level. So just key in on those 2 things and have a higher motor, and I'll be okay.
Now, you've become one of the top players in the country at Westlake, but that's not where you started at. Take us through St. Andrews and what it was like leading the transfer to Westlake.
It was hard because I've always been in private school my whole life since 6th grade. So I've been in private school, small school for my whole life, and then go to a big high school like Westlake with the best competition out in Texas and Austin. It was definitely really hard because I go to a school where everybody knows each other and everybody's friends with each other to like a public school that's huge. You see a new person or a few new people every day, and people take sports more seriously than academics sometimes. So that was a little loop, but it's been good. It was a good adjustment. I'm glad I did it. I miss my friends over at the other schools, but it was a good switch.
And you're our top guy. No schools were reaching out, possibly taking a prep route. Was that something you ever seriously considered?
Um, a little bit, but like I think it will count down to like offers. Like I already have all the offers I want, and I'm getting all the workouts and training I need, and I want to stay home as much as possible because when I leave the college, that's it.
And let's say the season does get canceled. Would that possibly be something you'd look into to possibly be able to get some games in this year?
Oh, definitely not. Just because I'm a very honest person, and if I commit to a team, I'm going to commit to them right or die.
That's big time, man. So last year, I mean, you got your score as a whole, got fifth grade district championship. You averaged about 23 games, 7 rebounds, big time season. You pretty much done all accolades you really want. What's the next thing? What do you want to achieve in your senior year?
Just to be the best teammate I can be. I want to be the best leader I can be and the best person outside of basketball I can be, and that's what I want to focus on. Stats and stuff are cool, but I just want to be the best person I can be outside of basketball.
And overall in Texas, it's one of, if not the best state in the entire country. What's it like playing basketball out there?
It's crazy. You don't realize how lucky you are to be in a Texas basketball environment until you go to a place like Oklahoma or some other state. No disrespect to anybody or anything, but like it's just different. The whole atmosphere and the whole way people go around basketball is different.
And when you look at Texas, I mean, you just look down the rankings, there's Texas guys constantly. How do you kind of learn to rise above them? I mean, you becoming a top player, making your name big. How do you kind of learn to rise above all the other guys?
Just competition. You face through competition all. I've been faced through competition all my life, and you just gotta learn to absorb it and just kill the people that are ranked above you, and then you start rising up because you can let people know that you're the one that should be over them. And I've been struggling with that since 7th to 8th grade. People thought they're better than me, they're ranked higher than me, and I go to a camp just for that person so I can show them that they're not.
And that's different than you from off the court. I mean, you're a humble guy. You're obviously easy to talk to. How do you learn to like separate your mindset when you get on a court from when you get off of it?
I definitely struggle with that still a lot because you have to learn how to be a killer on the court, and my parents have been trying to tell me that my whole life, and it's hard to find the balance, but it's something that you got to do and you got to force to because you can be the nicest guy ever, but on the court you have to be nasty no matter what position or how much you play.
When you talk about family, you come from a family of athletes. Your mom went to Texas A&M. What's it been like just growing up in a family environment with athletics?
Oh, it's crazy. Just my dad going to New Mexico for football, and then my New Mexico State, but and my sister playing volleyball at SMU. It's crazy just because like I'm the last player, the last person in my family that likes to play sports. So it's good because I get all the knowledge, I get all the expertise, and I want to take it to the farthest I can.
Now, you obviously have your whole family going D1. When you start your family, is expectation for your kids to play D1, whatever sport they want?
Of course, that's the dream. But if my kid wants to do something else, I'll let him. But that's definitely the dream. I want my kid to do what I did and more.
No doubt, man. A couple more things before I let you go. One is Team Griffin. You really blew up last year. It was one Peach Jam. You hit the buzz beater. This year's not obviously the same story. You guys don't get much AAU. What's it looking like, and do you think you're in any games this year with them?
We had a little last hoorah last weekend. We had the 16, 17U, and 15U combined. We drafted teams and played. Our team won, but I think that's it for Team Griffin. I'll probably go up there for some workouts with Coach Kellen and Taylor Griffin, and that's probably it. But I think right now I just need to focus on myself, work out a lot, get some shots up, and then get ready for if we have a high school season.
You look at that team from last year. You, Bijan, Damian, Trey. The list goes Jackson. The list goes on. How special is it going to be looking back at that 5, 6 years from now, just see how you guys are playing the pros, playing college? What's this going to be like?
Oh, it's gonna be crazy because those are one of those things where you'll never forget. I'll never forget those guys. We'll never since we won PCM, we'll never forget that moment. And now knowing that we had 7, 8 high level guys on the same team and they're all from either Oklahoma or Texas, it's crazy. And just you're gonna see everybody and how they do. It's gonna be really really amazing because we were all going to be at the same team at one point, and we're all going to do really good things.
Couldn't agree more, man. I saw a video about you. You were on the news a little bit ago, kind of talking about the whole environment of the country right now, so social justice issues. Just kind of talk to us about that, and just I know you talk about your family's been active in that. Take us through that.
It's crazy. What's going on is really crazy. Um, the government system's a little messed up right now. Um, it's hard. Um, a lot of things have been going on that I don't really agree with, but we have to take it day by day. Sometimes some nights I've been scared to get pulled over or something, but you have to trust in God. And my mom has been constantly talking to me about stuff like that. So you have to take it in with a grain of salt and just know that it's the world we live in, and we have to do whatever we can to help it. So just little things like spreading positive energy to your family and friends can go a long way.
Couldn't agree more, man. You brought up a huge point that your mom taught you. I mean, I know you're a believer. God obviously is the healer, the fixer for all things. Having that faith in Him, how has God kind of helped you through issues off the court, obviously, as well, just helping you throughout your basketball career?
Um, just knowing that like basketball is not going to be everything in life. You have people like LeBron that has stuff that says more than athlete. That's his brand. So having that power that LeBron had and using it for something good is amazing. So if I get to that big or to that step, I'm gonna do the same thing that he did and try to help as much as I can if I have that power with people.
Absolutely, man. My final thing before I let you go is I always like wrapping up talking about your legacy, man. By the time you walk away from the game someday, what do you want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on the court as well as off of it?
Um, I know Kobe just passed a year ago or so, and I think just his legacy as a person speak way more volumes than he was as a player. A lot of people were shook and hurt just because of how good of a person he was. And I think I want to live the exact same legacy he is, but try to do more because you always have to be more. You don't want to settle for anything less.
Couldn't agree more, man. For KU fans, give them their three things. What's your three biggest goals of today that you want to achieve throughout your KU career?
Oh, definitely win a national championship, win the conference, and just find peace with myself, just knowing that I did everything I can for that team.
That's awesome, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on again, my guy, and congrats on the commitment.
Thank you so much.
Of course, man, you're always welcome on, bro. God bless.